The gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of House Resolution 499, a very important declaration of support for the people of Ukraine in this time of peril. This measure condemns Russia's unprovoked aggression in clear and in unmistakable terms. The U.S. has a strong interest in a democratic and prosperous Ukraine, and a Ukraine with its territorial integrity intact. I would like to take this time to recognize also Ranking Member Engel for co-authoring this bipartisan resolution. And I would also like to thank the members of the Committee on Foreign Affairs for their work to strengthen this resolution at last week's markup, where it passed unanimously. This resolution is an important part of a larger effort to aid Ukraine and impose real costs on Russia, to give Russia something to weigh in the balance, something to take into account for its unacceptable action in the Crimea section of Ukraine. Among other resolves, the resolution condemns the violation of Ukrainian sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity by military forces of the Russian Federation, and it declares that the Ukrainian people have the right to determine their own future free from outside interference. Importantly, the resolution calls on the administration to work with our allies to impose visa and financial and other sanctions as appropriate. Russia's actions cannot go unchallenged. To show Moscow how isolated its aggression has made it, world leaders are speaking out. Today, the House of Representatives is joining those voices. Ukraine's new government is confronting an economic and financial crisis brought on by years of mismanagement and corruption by previous government officials. And it is doing this while under military invasion and economic coercion by neighboring Russia. The new government in Kiev cannot succeed without strong and rapid support by the international community. Last week, the House acted quickly on a loan guarantee provision. This is conditioned on Ukraine undertaking fundamental economic reforms to stabilize its economy. Addressing Ukraine's energy security must be part of our response here. While the United States recently became the world's largest producer of natural gas, Russia is still the largest exporter. Moscow freely uses its energy resources to advance its foreign policy goals, including by blackmailing countries which are dependent on Russia. Russia has repeatedly used its natural gas to pressure Ukraine economically and politically. It recently announced that it will significantly hike its prices, a deliberate effort to squeeze Ukraine in order to worsen its current economic crisis and to control it politically. Fortunately, we have a readily available option to help counter this threat, namely reducing the current impediments to exports of American natural gas to Ukraine. While Vladimir Putin is selling oil and gas around the world, we still maintain major restrictions on selling our energy to all but a handful of countries. We should end these self-imposed sanctions on our energy exports to Ukraine. This would undermine Putin's influence. It would bolster our allies throughout Europe and create jobs at home. And I urge all members to support this important measure. And I'll reserve the balance of my time.